salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you, my dear little chicken heads, have wandered onto the number one prog rock channel on all of YouTube. Yeah, it's the Prog Corner, and yeah, it's my opinion. That's the only one that matters. And today, yeah, I'm going to be talking about a subject that's been kind of on my mind for a little while, that's been kind of bugging me. We've got the American presidential elections like 8 weeks away now. And as a result, people are getting all like crazy and wild and freaking out and, steam coming out of their ears and, veins poking out of their necks, screaming and yelling and just getting all apoplectic about this thing as if it really matters. Like I could tell a difference whether Trump or Biden was in the White House. In my life, it made absolutely zero difference, but I know for some people it matters. But anyway, it doesn't matter whether you're a liberal or a conservative, a Republican, a Democrat, a liberal, a Tory, whatever you are, man, we're all human beings and we're all in this together, and music can save us all. So I want to talk a little bit about politics and prog rock, really politics and music, politics and art in general. Lot of people are taking exception to it, right? I can't say that a day goes by that I don't see somebody in the comments talking about some band or some song or, something they don't like because, leave the politics out of music. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I get it. I understand there's been some right-wing politicians here in the U.S. like Marjorie Taylor Greene telling LeBron James to shut up and dribble. And I do get, the idea that I don't really care who my plumber is going to vote for, right? Just fix the pipes, dude, right? I don't really care. But a lot of black athletes in the United States have felt a need, a necessity to, talk about social issues that affect their community. And that is their right to do it, right? It might not always be distasteful. Sports and politics have always been intermingled. Where were you in 1968 in the Mexico City Olympics, right? Or 1972 Munich, politics and sports have always been, intermingled there. So I don't see why people have a problem with it, but, some people do, but, attacking artists for including things that they see and they experience in the world is absolutely ridiculous because the whole purpose, the whole function of an artist is to reflect back that which he sees and comment upon it, observe it, comment, maybe perhaps give some perspective on things. That's what art does. That's what we're supposed to do as artists, right? Whether it's painting or literature or our beloved rock and roll, right? And rock and roll in particular honestly is different than other forms of music in that it was born of protest, right? It was a protest against the stodginess and the buttoned up experience of people post-war in the 50s. They wanted to have something their own. The kids are always going to do their own thing, man. It's like, I know I'm old now that I don't understand the music that kids are listening to. That's officially when you're an old dude. Because up until like 2010, I was understanding the music world and the music industry. I don't understand it at all anymore. So clearly I'm officially old. But to hold musicians' feet to the fire because you don't like their politics is absolutely ridiculous, man. I was going to ask if anybody held the Beatles' feet to the fire, but they absolutely did. They got into hot water all the time whenever they, sang about other stuff besides I Want to Hold Your Hand, right? Yeah, we don't want our artists to actually think of rock and roll as art. Well, it is. Get over it. And as art, we're going to talk about the things that we see, the things we care about. And if you have a problem with politics in your music, then you can go back and listen to that pop music and all that I love you stuff, man, because it's fake, it's phony, it's not real. I want to hear musicians, I want to hear artists talking about and singing about stuff they care about. And that's why I love Venom and Neil Morris in equal measure, right? Venom singing about Satan and Neil Morris is singing about God, but they mean what they're saying, man. They're singing with conviction. They care. It's important to them, and therefore it's important to me, right? That transference from the expression that an artist has and their earnestness in it absolutely affects my ability to understand it, appreciate it, or maybe even kind of come around on certain things as a result of what an artist is laying into my ears. Absolutely. But, politics has always been part of music, and prog in particular, man. They say, well, there's certain pockets of prog that were political, and that is very true. You look at the Rio movement, the rock and opposition movement. Most of those artists, like Henry Cow, were extremely left-leaning. You look at a lot of those krautrock bands like Amol Duel 2 and Can, very left-wing, and it goes on and on. In Sweden, you had something called the Prog movement with Progg. Had little to do with prog rock, but it was rock bands and politics. And yeah, some of those bands were actually, kind of proggy sounding. But, back then, the main problems in the world were the Vietnam War, the ecology, right? A lot of ecological concerns, and overall social injustice. And those were, three refrains that we hear over and over and over in music, not just prog music, right? But things were changing in the late 60s, and we saw it around the world where you had a lot of political upheaval in certain parts of the world, and it absolutely impacted the music that was being made. You look at what was going on in the late 60s, early 70s in Italy politically, with the fascists and the communists and all this crazy stuff going on. Yeah, absolutely. It informed the music that was being made, particularly bands like Aria and Banco del Moturo Soccorso and Musea Rosenbach, putting Mussolini on their album cover. So the political end of things definitely very important for a lot of bands. Not everybody was into the Roger Dean covers and, the fantasy stuff. Sometimes bands talked about real life issues. Even bands like Yes, right? You think about songs like Haroldland and I don't know what was the first song on the Yes album. Yours Is No Disgrace. That's an anti-war song. I guess the Gates of Delirium is about war and peace. So, even bands like Yes that were not really political bands had moments where they talked about politics, and that started right at the beginning of prog with the King Crimson, man. 21st Century Schizoid Man is a war song. Absolutely. Is it a pro-war? Is it an anti-war song? I don't know, but it's absolutely about Vietnam. Epitaph, absolutely a political track. So art was reflecting life at that time. The hippie movement had done its thing. They were always talking about stuff in a different kind of way. But as the prog movement came on, we got some really important voices, people saying things that not everybody liked, but, they have the right to say it. I don't agree with everything Roger Waters has to say, right? I'm not a big fan of his politics. However, he has the right to say whatever he wants to, man. He means it, right? It's something he cares about, and therefore I'm interested in what he has to say, unlike some charlatan that's just singing a love song to some girl he broke up with a year ago. It's a joke, man. What about Ian Anderson? That cat's always had a political bend to his lyrics. Social consciousness, his problems with dealing with his own faith and his religious beliefs, always right there in his music. How about the Ayn Rand influence on Neil Peart and his music? Rush absolutely had a lot of political songs in their catalog. Absolutely. And then you got some of the modern artists, and I'm a little disappointed in some of the modern artists because back in the day when you had Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan to kick around, it seemed like every band was getting political and, kicking them down the road. But I don't hear the same thing nowadays at all. Not in punk and not in prog, but at least we have our beloved Andy Tillison to keep the world straight and to keep us all honest. Absolutely. Marillion. Especially H-era Marillion, very left-leaning. And I don't care, man. I don't have to agree with what H is singing about. He's singing about it. He cares about it. He has actual love in his heart, man, for the human race, and that's an important thing. Gentle Giant, they put out their Watergate album, The Power and the Glory. That's pretty political. Peter Gabriel, always interested in politics and stuff like that. Steven Wilson also. Even a band like Genesis, they dip their toes into stuff occasionally with tracks like The Knife and Get 'Em Out by Friday. Maybe even Illegal Alien later on. But, so the whole idea that we need to divorce our music from any political kind of thought is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous because politics is basically just the science of human beings trying to figure out how to get along. And that's always interesting, right? I mean, that's always an interesting topic to talk about, whether you're, left leaning or right leaning. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, just get over it. There's always going to be politics in every form of art. Get over it. It's just who we are as people. But I know things have gotten twitchy, and everybody's all on edge and worried about the future, and what's it going to be? Is it going to be 4 more years of Trump, or is it going to be Kamala Harris? I tell you guys, don't worry about it, man. Do not sweat. Don't worry one little bit about it. Yeah, do your due diligence. Go out and vote. Do your thing. But just remember, what's really important in this life is the music that we listen to and the friends that we make. And it really don't matter who we vote for. Absolutely not, because we're all human beings and we all kind of sort of want the same things. So first of all, stop hating on your opponents, right? If your friend is a liberal and you're a conservative, give them a call today and tell them you love them. It's okay. It's okay to like a Trumpster. It's okay to like a Democrat. It really is, man. It's fine. We're all people and we all love similarly, and we all, have similar desires and wants and everything. And we absolutely need our artists to keep us honest, to keep us thinking about the world as a whole, to kind of ground us as human beings. I want that from my artists. I need that from my artists. So if you're crying about politics and music, where have you been for the last 50 years, man? Get over it. It's a thing. It always has been. It always will be. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm doing on the channel this week. I am totally freewheeling it, and it is going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, just whatever I feel like doing, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, I'll see you punks tomorrow. Peace in the Middle East. Free the Ukraine. Free Tibet. Free Willie. Free everybody. And God save King Chucky. Save King Charles III. Oh, that boy could use your saving right now. That son gone got that cancer. Bring him to America. Oh, yeah. Make him swim. Oh, the exercise will do him real good. Oh, yeah. Get those arms real good. Get those guns going. Oh, yeah, King Chucky, you're going to be just fine once you're in America. Then we're going to do spells and incantations. Our prayer warriors are working 24/7. We're going to drink poison. And then you know what we're going to do? Billy Bob bust out them snakes. Oh, no, the snake dancing's coming. We're going to dance with them snakes. Oh, look out. Oh, no, they're going to get me. Oh, no. Oh, but they're not going to get me because I got the Spirit of the Lord in me. Anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Peace.